Welcome to Fireside Nets with Spen and Nick, brought to you by Empire Sports Media. We are your hosts. I'm Spen Harris. He's Nick.
Harris.
You're
Nicky
not.
Harris.
We have a lot to talk about with this Brooklyn Nets team. Mostly good. I mean, Nick, I don't know about you. This team might be the greatest squad assembled since the 1996 Chicago Bulls. What do you think?
I might say the greatest squad assembled since the 2003 Remember the Titans. I think it was 2000 football team with Petey Jones, Sunshine, Ronnie Bass, Gary Bertier, Julius.
Left side?
Strong side. You don't get to say that though.
Okay. I was more of a varsity blues guy myself.
No, I was more of a Shane Falco replacements guy.
You couldn't remember
Falco.
the name of your favorite movie of all time?
I was too busy remembering the Titans.
Oh, God. Nick, this Nets team is on fire with a capital F and a capital Ire. They are 8-1 in their last 9 games. We're going to get to the last 4 games that they played. We'll start with the Wizards win on Monday night. But just overall, what are you seeing from this team that we were not seeing when Steve Nash was at the helm? It's deep.
Success.
Success.
I think Jacques Vaughn gives this team kind of a sense of purpose and motivation. They seem to have more humility. It's not as much of an ego battle. They're not playing as isolated. Kyrie, even since the whole controversy he's been a part of, is coming back and playing a lot more with his teammates, setting up his teammates, selfless basketball. I'm seeing just a better overall camaraderie and attitude towards the organization and to each other since Jacques Vaughn has taken the helm of this team. And the desire to win and the knowledge that they can win. And I think 8-2 in the last 10 games is reason enough for this team to take it more seriously, to believe in themselves more. Joe Harris coming back, starting to find his groove, which I have to give a shout out to Richard Jefferson, because they actually set a stat like it was like November 26th. Richard Jefferson was like, I know Joe Harris has been shooting horribly, but I think he's been working hard to find his stroke, and I see him shooting well over the next few weeks. And Joe Harris jumped from like 35% to 55% in like a span of a couple of days after Richard Jefferson called that. So everything's falling into place, even with Simmons out for those last couple of games until last game. Everyone's stepping up. TJ Warren stepping up, Claxton stepping up. We're going to get into that C-team step up where Day'Ron Sharpe had 20 and 10. Cam Thomas had a 30-burger. So all great things. Overall, what I'm seeing is a shift in attitude and a shift in the desire to win.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that with Steve Nash, it was a lot of they should be playing better, but more so they expected to win just because of their talent. And we saw that these last few years under Nash, where they get to the playoffs and then boom, they get outplayed or they get out hustled or they don't play together as a team. And everyone says, well, they underachieved because they're the Nets and they have KD and Kyrie. Great players don't win championships. Great teams win championships. So I think the biggest difference, you kind of touched on it, is everyone on the Nets are starting to play and earn these wins. No win has been given to them. They've earned every single win that they've gotten in this last stretch. And the only other thing I'll say about the difference between Jacques Vaughn and Steve Nash, Jacques Vaughn calls timeouts appropriately. Steve Nash never did that. Steve Nash, we'd get hit with a 10-0 run, and Steve Nash would be like, all right, guys, figure it out. Kevin Durant, Kyrie, lead the team. No. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are equally top 5 at their position. Kevin Durant's probably top 2, but they are not the head coaches on this team. They are not. So I just love what Vaughn has done in the sense of, yeah, he's gotten these guys to play harder. They're playing more efficiently on defense. They're moving the ball on offense, and he's calling timeouts. That to me is the major difference. Nick has had to step out for a moment. That's okay. We're going to continue to talk some Brooklyn Nets basketball. And we are going to start, or I guess keep going, with the 112-100 Brooklyn Nets win over the Washington Wizards on Monday night. This was, I don't want to say it was one of the best team wins because you only had 5 guys in double figures. Kevin Durant led the way with 30 points. Again, when he's playing in Washington, he is dialed in. That is where he's from. He's a diehard Nationals fan. He's made that very clear to us that he does not give two shits about the Aaron Judge in New York contract. He's all about them Nats. But he's a Washington guy. He's from that area. So, when he plays there, he's dialed in. 30 points, 11 of 17 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 5 of 5 from the line, 9 rebounds, 6 assists for Kevin Durant. He continues his MVP campaign. He's been playing out of his mind these last few games. Kyrie Irving, Nick touched on it earlier. He's really, as someone who's pretty critical of Kyrie on the court, I don't think he necessarily always takes the best shots. He has been superb as of late. 24 points for Kai in this one, 7 of 17 from the field, 3 of 10 from 3. But his three-pointers, the ones he makes, they always seem so timely, don't they? And same with his misses. I mean, he missed 7 threes in that game. I guess we didn't really notice it because we were winning. We were up the entire game. Also 7 of 7 from the field, from the free throw line. So him and KD were a combined 12 of 12 from the free throw line. You love to see that. 6 rebounds, 5 assists for Kyrie. He's been playing brilliant basketball as of late. He's been really leading this team, and he's been running the point a lot with Ben Simmons out. Simmons in his return, okay game for him. 10 points, 8 assists. 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He was 5 of 9 from the field in 23 minutes. Jacques Vaughn has got to be careful with his minutes. We did not need him a ton in this one. The number I do like for Ben Simmons is 2 fouls. He really was a nightmare for Kristaps Porzingis down the stretch. He really did a good job of shutting him out after Porzingis got to a hot start. And the other guy I want to call out is Joe Harris. 11 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point range. But he's been playing some really good defense as of late. There was a play where the Nets went cold down the stretch. Washington was inching back in this game. And Joe Harris took the ball from Corey Kispert. I think the score, they were up 7 or 8. He stole it, went down the other way, hit a layup to basically ice the game. I got to give Joe Harris credit. And you talked about this earlier, Nick. Nick is back, by the way. Nick, what happened there?
I had a bit of a work emergency, but we're good.
Emergency. Got it. No, look, it's nice when your teammates and your coach believes in you, even when you're on a cold stretch. And that's what we're sort of seeing with Joe Harris. That's what we've seen with Seth Curry a little bit. We know these guys are bona fide studs when it comes to shooting, and they're going to go into shooting lulls. But it's nice to see Jacques Vaughn and Joe Harris's teammates back him and say, look, we know you're missing right now early in the season. Your legs aren't there. Now we're starting to see why that confidence in your best shooters pays off.
Well, let's just call a spade a spade. If Joe Harris can't hit a 3-pointer, he has no right being on the basketball court. We already know
he has no right.
We already know he's a subpar defender. So his defending is just icing on the cake. He is in a Nets uniform. He is in the National Basketball League. If National Basketball Association, the NBA, if he could hit 3-pointers. And if not, he's not providing enough offensively or defensively to play. So yes, we gave him a little bit of time, but we were even doubtful on him. And I remember seeing a tweet a couple weeks ago saying, Joe Harris is a bad defender. If he is not hitting shots, we have no reason to give him any minutes. And to reiterate my point, that's true. So let's not sugarcoat and say, oh, his legs are finally back. Like he's doing well. Like he's doing what he needs to do for the team and for himself to be a part of this team. So that's that. And I'm happy he's doing it because I love Joe Harris. As much as we joke around about how handsome he is, and he's a super handsome guy, he's got a job to do, and it's nice to see him finally doing it.
Yeah, and listen, if he's going to steal the ball from anybody, it's probably going to be Corey Kispert.
Oh, he's also a handsome guy.
Yeah, I don't want to start that. I don't want to start that narrative where every white 3-point shooter in the NBA is a handsome guy. Let's not do that.
It's not because they're white. It's because of his jawline. I also want to mention, I don't know if you wrote this down about the Wizards game. Did you see what Kevin Durant said about Bradley Beal?
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that?
He's not.
Right? It's like so early. Like the guy's averaged 25 the past like 5 seasons. I think 31 one season, but like shooting 45%. But you're telling me he's an auto Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. No, the one thing I want to say about this game, I talked about Durant's performance, Irving's performance, Simmons' performance. Claxton was actually a plus 22 in this one. 9
Claxton. Do you know what that's from?
No.
Ian Eagle was commentating while they were playing the Orlando Magic, who has Bol Bol, and he goes, Bowl, guarding Claxton.
It's very funny. Iron Eagles, one of the best in the business, if not the best. No, Claxton was good in this one. 4 of 4 from the field for 9 points. He was a plus 22, 2 blocks. He had 1 block down the stretch. He has been great as our only center. And the one thing I want to say about this game is, the Nets, they won the first quarter 29-25. The Wizards really started the second quarter strong, and they hit the Nets in the mouth. I forget what the run they went on was, but they, I think, took the lead by a few points. Porzingis was hitting, Kuzma was hitting, and it seemed like, Will Barton had a great game, 22 points for Will Barton off the bench, 20 for Kyle Kuzma, 20 for Kristaps Porzingis. That seemed like a moment under Nash where the Nets might just not give up, but loosen on their principles on defense. And that might have been a stretch where Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving tried to do too much, and the Nets would fall apart in those instances, in the beginning of the season. They did a great job of weathering the storm early in that second quarter and basically taking back momentum midway through that quarter. That was when I think Kyrie went on a little bit of a run, and they just started hitting shots. They ended up scoring 33 points to the Wizards 30 in that quarter. And they outscored the Wizards in each quarter for the remainder of the game. 32 to the Wizards, 28 in the third, 18 to the Wizards, 17 in the fourth. So this was not a wire-to-wire victory because they were trailing in the second, but you like to see how the Nets adjusted after halftime. They really did a good job of shutting down Porzingis in that second half. And the final guy I got to give credit to is TJ Warren. You brought him up, 12 points on the bench. I mean, that mid-range is wet. He does not miss mid-range shots. Splash. He is to me, he's a miniature version, not in size, but more in just terms of production. He's Kevin Durant in a weird way. He's 6'9", 6'10". How tall is he? Look that up for me.
6'8". So you're wrong again.
Okay. But no, he can score anyway. He's 6'8". You're right, 220. His mid-range game is phenomenal. He can hit the three. He can take it to the basket. His basketball IQ is very high. He also had 3 assists in this one, 4 rebounds. He had a play where I think he stole the ball. It was a fast break. There were 2 guys behind him, and he had the awareness to basically take 2 steps, fake like he was going off, and he dumped it to Edmund Sumner for the layup. So loved what you saw from TJ Warren. No Royce O'Neal in this game. Did not matter. Do you have any more comments on the Nets beating the Wizards 112-100?
I mean, listen, adjust, shmlust. You could say we adjusted. You could say we stepped up defensively. You could say Joe Harris shot well. At the end of the day, give credit to Jacques Vaughn for resting all his starters against the Pacers. We'll get to that game where our C team won the game. It was unbelievable. But, I mean, this is just a rested team ready to keep winning and ready to keep succeeding. And they all got the time off and time deserved. We rested our top 8 guys against the Indiana Pacers, and we're able to get a victory, which was huge, and to bring our A team back and continue winning. That, to me, is a bigger feat than these role players doing what we know they could do. Their roles. They're called role players. Put some butter on that role and be a role player. I also want to say, you, for being someone knowledgeable about the Nets and about players and updates and tweets and schmeats, you never know how tall someone is. So we're going to do a segment at the end of this episode where I name a player on the Nets, and don't look, I swear to God, if you Google anything, and give me their height, because I feel like you're going to say Patty Mills is 7'2". Because I don't know if your depth perception is off, or you just like to give these guys a lot more credit. I think one time you thought Blake Griffin was way taller than he was. I think you gave someone like Kyrie Irving Steph Curry 3 inches. So coming from someone who doesn't have a lot of inches, Spencer, we'll talk inches later on the pod.
All right. I'm totally cool to play that game. Don't let me forget. My one final question from this game, if you had to take one player off the Wizards and put them on the Nets, and realistically, so I'm not talking about Hall of Fame bound Bradley Beal, who is that one player that you would want to trade for?
Well, I know you want me to say the Israeli Deni Avdija. I don't know if I would say that.
I don't know why you think that.
Because before, a couple episodes ago, you said that would be a great pickup for us.
I said they have 4 or 5 guys we could use, and he was one of them. I just don't think because you're Jewish and you've been to Israel, you're going to want Avdija on the team.
Well, that is why. Honestly, you know who I want? Taj Gibson.
You know who I want? And this is I want Daniel Gafford.
Okay.
He could be
He's
such
more expensive than Taj Gibson.
To to Nick Claxton. If he was our backup 5, I mean, you saw him come in yesterday. He had 10 points in 20 minutes, 4 of 4 from the field. He had a double-double in 20
That's
minutes.
a former Arkansas Razorback from 2019, pick number 38 overall, Daniel Gafford.
He is someone who I think the Nets can use immediately. Yeah, Kuzma would be great. Porzingis, I'm kind of out on Porzingis after yesterday. He looked amazing, unstoppable in that first half, and then he didn't play in the fourth quarter because he had back issues. Like, come on.
I've heard from people and from reports, Kuzma, solid this year. Obviously, he's averaging about 20 points, shooting, I want to say, above 45%. Let me just confirm, because I'm usually more of a stat guy than you are, you big, dumb, stupid idiot.
You get really good statistics in college.
Kuzma is shooting 46% this year, averaging 21 a game, 7.7 rebounds. I've heard from people, and I've read a few articles, he has this confidence to him that he thinks he's the best guy every single time he steps on the court. And granted, he wasn't even like top 3 when they played the Nets, because you wouldn't put him above KD, Kyrie, or Porzingis. So I got to give him credit where credit's due. He shoots well, and he's got this unbelievable chutzpah to him. But with that said, not going to be an all-star, not a guy I necessarily think we would want or need. Kind of another 3 stretch 3, maybe can play some 4, but he shoots the ball, doesn't play unbelievable defense, doesn't contribute too much on assists. So not someone I want personally.
I'm with you. That makes sense. All right, we're going to move on to the beginning of the week. The Nets played the Charlotte Hornets on Wednesday, December 7th. They won this game 122-116. Your high man was Kyrie Irving. He had 33 points in this one. Kevin Durant chipped in 29 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and your third highest scorer for the Nets was Seth Curry with 20 points. Brooklyn absolutely dominated the Hornets in that first half. They had 38 to the Hornets, 28 in the first quarter, 35 to the Hornets, 27 in the second quarter. Curry could not miss in that first half. I think like out of his 20 points, I think 16 or 18 came in the first half. Second half, different story. Hornets outscored the Nets 32-23 in the third. Terry Rozier got really hot. He had 29 points in this one. Oubre, who always kills the Nets, he got hot in the second half, 28 for him. Nets were able to hold on. Not much to say about this victory other than like this is another game that you should win. Nice that we did win, but it was too close for my liking, Nick.
Yeah, this is one of those games that I was like, holy shit, we're absolutely demolishing. This game's over. And then I texted my roommate, Eric, who I always text and say, we're playing too well in the first half. This means we'll let the team back in the second, which we have a tendency to do. And I don't even want to say it's like we take our foot off the gas, because that's only part of it. I almost feel like we allow a team to make adjustments and allow those adjustments to F with our confidence in our system and our structure that has been working so well for us. So was not surprised that Charlotte came back in the third, made it a game. Fourth only outscored us by 3, but still winning by 6 did not do this game justice. Just looking at stat lines, we got 3 guys in double digits. They got 5 guys, every single one of their starters in double digits, which is a great sign for just more of a team game. McDaniels 19, Washington 12, Plumlee 13, Oubre 28, Rozier 29. Really nobody else on their team did much. But we kind of relied on our guys down the stretch. They kind of relied on their team, and they were able to fight their way back into this game. Again, Hornets doing pretty terribly this year, a team we need to beat. Didn't like how close it got, was a little uncomfortable at times. Terry, dude, scary Terry. I know he went from a C's team that's a championship contender to a Hornets team that's like maybe a last spot in the East. But he found himself a home and a groove, and they allow him to do his thing. And when given free range, that dude hit some crazy shots. Some like fade in the corner perimeter threes in clutch time. Like, I got to give Scary Terry some credit, because no one out here is saying this dude's an elite player, and yet he'll surprise you.
Yeah, I think that when he plays Kyrie Irving, he takes it personally, right? Terry Rozier was on that Celtics team when Kyrie got hurt, that went on the run. They went pound for pound with LeBron, I think in one of his last years with the Cavs. I believe was it that year or was LeBron with the Heat? I don't remember. No, it was LeBron's second run with the Cavs, I think.
And did you know Terry Rozier is 6'9"?
because Kyrie was on the Celtics and he was hurt, and Terry Rozier played out of his mind, and then Kyrie came back, and Terry's role was essentially done with Boston. So I think he takes those matchups against Kyrie extremely personally, and those two went at it. It was nice to see. And
did you mean personally? You said personably.
Personally, you're right. Yeah, I didn't mean personally.
He takes those matchups like very kindly. Like he's such a charismatic guy.
No. It was a duel between those guys. I mean, 29 for Rozier, 33 for Irving. They were going back and forth. Before we move on to anything else, I do want to give a shout out to my cousin Richard, who just wrote "Yo, Spen and Nick," and I also want to congratulate cousin Richard on his beautiful granddaughter, who was recently brought into this world by his wonderful daughter Jillian. Abigail Iris is the name of his granddaughter. So shout out to cousin Richard. Congratulations to you, Jackie,
Absolutely
Andrew,
adorable,
your family.
Adorable child.
We're very happy for you guys, and it was a blast to see you at the wedding a few weeks ago. I know I said I wouldn't talk about the wedding, but
I forgot about the wedding.
All right. Yeah. Nothing else on this game. The only thing I wanted to mention about that Wizards game, there were two plays in that Wizards game that I just wanted to touch on real fast. The Kyrie Irving switch hands in the air finger roll. Is that a move that you could ever pull off in a game?
Me personally, yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
I will do it at my men's league playoff game tomorrow. So
sure you will. Love some footage of that. And the other play was the Kyrie Irving fast break alley-oop to Ben Simmons. I don't want to be gross on this podcast, but I got a little bit happy in my nether regions after watching that play. That was a beautiful, that SpongeBob episode. This is actually probably not as gross as what I was thinking. The SpongeBob episode when SpongeBob thinks he's hilarious and he tries to do like entertainment instead of making Krabby Patties, and everyone gets really mad. And at the end, he starts putting the Krabby Patties on the grill, and everyone goes, "That's what we've been waiting for."
Yeah.
That was literally the Kyrie Irving to Ben Simmons alley-oop fast break. I was so happy to see Ben Simmons aggressive, continue to go to the rim. He did not have a great game scoring the ball, but I just wanted to put that out there. I really want to see more of that. Okay.
So I just want to say also, we don't do SpongeBob references. We only do Troy references. And the fact that you use SpongeBob instead of Troy, it very much bothers me.
You think I'm going to get sued by Nets Depicted by SpongeBob now?
I hope so.
Shout out to our boy Will. That's a great Twitter account. Nets Depicted by SpongeBob. Please follow it if you don't already follow. He is the master of SpongeBob references. Okay, we move on to the game on Friday. So it came out that Jonte Murray earlier in the week would be out for the next few weeks with an ankle injury. So they were playing without their second, starting guard with Trae Young, but Trae Young did play in this game. 33 points for Trae Young, 9 assists. He is a tough cover, man. He absolutely kills us. Bogdanovich was absolutely on fire from the bench. He had 31. It was not enough, Nick, because 7-11, Kevin Durant had 34. Kyrie Irving had 33 points and 11 rebounds from Kyrie. He's got to be what? 6'3", 6'4", 11 rebounds? That is insane.
I mean,
I'm going to say he's 6'3".
This was
he's 6'2".
This was a great shooting night for both teams and a terrible turnover night for both teams.
Yes.
So we shot 54%. They shot 50% from the field. We shot 43% from three, which is unbelievable for us this year. They shot 35% from three, a little below their normal range there. But if I look at turnovers, dude, 21 turnovers to their 18. It's a little bit sloppy. This was a back and forth game where either someone was hitting the deep three or fucking throwing it out of bounds, which was disappointing. But overall, fun game to watch. Trae Young, man, like you could hate on Trae and you could hate on the Hawks, but this dude is a stud. Like the way he almost is better in some ways than Steph Curry because he's smaller at getting space and using his footwork without traveling to create a step back, to create a side step, to get around someone, to get fouled. He's so smart with his body and his balance and his movement that like he is a joy to watch as much as I wanted to beat him, and I'm glad we did. So listen, shout out to him. Shout out to Bogdanovich. Both him and Bojan Bogdanovich on the Pistons had 30-point nights in the past week. So congrats to both of them. I believe are both Croatian. I know Bojan on the Pistons is. Bogdan is Serbian, so both former parts of Yugoslavia, for those who did not know. With that said, I want to give one final shout out to the Croatian national soccer team, lost in the semifinals to Argentina. Ugly game, but what a run. 2018 finalist, 2022 semi-finalist.
I'm going to be honest. I know I bring up my wedding and my wife a lot on the show. Nick brings up a country that he isn't even affiliated with.
What do you mean? Just because I'm not from that country, I can't care about a country?
You can care about them. You don't have to bring them up on every single podcast. I understand you're a fan of Croatia because one of your best friends is from there. I understand you've been there, but I think you've referenced Croatia the last 3 podcasts. And every time Bogdanovic comes up, you're like, oh, he's Croatian. Like, we all know that he is.
I mean, dude, Croatia is a nation of 4 million people. It's the size of the state of Oklahoma, and yet they are getting to a final and a semifinal. 3 semifinals in the last 6 World Cups. Sorry for being a sports fan.
All right, you don't have to diss the state of Oklahoma, all right? We have a lot of listeners.
It's a comparison.
All right, yeah, my takeaway from this game, again, just like the Hornets, just like the Wizards, maybe the Hawks are a little bit better. This is a game that, we should have, right? They're down a superstar. We have our superstars. No Nick Claxton in this game. Didn't really matter. I mean, I said it earlier. Kyrie Irving was the high man with 11 rebounds. Nobody else on Royce O'Neal had the second most at 9 rebounds. So that was insane. You were talking about Trae Young being elite. That play that he did where I think they were down 6 or 8. It was like the minutes, it was maybe 3-4 minutes left in the game, maybe less. He went off the backboard in a half court set to John Collins for the alley-oop. I was like, or was it Clint Capella? It wasn't John Collins. It might have been Clint Capella. I've never seen someone do that move, right? Like in the middle, like literally off backboard in a half court set, and the dude just dunked it. You have to have serious balls to make a pass like that in like crunch time, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Anyway, loved what, and then again, TJ Warren, 14 points off the bench, 6 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3-point range, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals. He has come in and he has been such an important piece off the bench. He is that guy who I've been preaching the Nets need for weeks. If you go back and listen to any episode, I've said Sean Marks needs a bigger wing. And guess what? Now that TJ Warren is healthy, he checks that box. He is so essential to what this team can do with that second unit. He gives you that miniature version of Kevin Durant down the stretch. So, again, that's 2 games, 14 points in this game, 12 points in the Wizards game. He's been absolutely great. Simmons was all right in this one, 6 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds in 21 minutes. This was the first half of a back-to-back, so he did not play. And then Seth Curry, 11 points off the bench, 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 3 from the line. He did just about enough. I think he was out there, Seth, to close the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Bro, overall, my Pacers game, bro, is all I want to talk about.
Let's get to the Pacers game. So
I'm done hearing you fucking ramble, bro. Pacers game, Nets C team. We had no Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, Nick Claxton, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Seth Curry,
Ben Simmons.
No, did I say that? I think I said that.
You did? We had 7 guys out.
That was everyone then, because I counted 7. Bro, Cam Thomas, 21 points in the 4th quarter. All right. Day'Ron Sharp, who I believe had 20 and 10 in this game. Let me get exact number here. 20 and 12. Okay. Markieff Morris, 15 and 11, double-double. Patty Mother effing Mills, I'll get to him later because he reviewed a pizza place in Brooklyn and said it was great, which I vehemently disagree with. 24, 6 and 6. Sumner, 21. I'm sorry, Cam Thomas, 33. I thought he had 31. He finished with 33. And Yuta Watanabe, Iron Eagle, gets a Erection every time he says his name. Watanabe, 10 and 7. This game against, a lowly Pacers team. I'm looking at the record now, 14 and 13. Not doing too hot. What are they? Another 14.
I mean, hold on. Out of all the teams that we just talked about, I think the Pacers are the best team.
That's true, but still, 8th in the East, 14 and 14 right now. Halliburton's nice. Miles Turner's nice.
Halliburton is not just nice. He's a top 3-point guard in the league right now.
That's an interesting take. Okay, I'll give you that, sure. Naismith, nice shooter as well. They got some guys that could play. I love Benedict Mathurin. I think best rookie besides Banchero this year?
I have a feeling that he's going to betray them at some point or another.
Anyway, so this Pacers team is no joke. They're not elite, but we have our top 7 players. Oh, I get it. Benedict Arnold, that's a terrible joke. But we have our top 7 players. That took me a second. Spencer's just laughing. You can't even hear him. Our top 7 players are out against a playoff contender in the East. We were losing. I think we started off hot. We were up in the first quarter, and then second and third got away from us. And in that fourth quarter, I want to say about 5 minutes left, we were down 6, and they had a bullshit call. I almost jumped out of my seat and stabbed a bitch. No, sorry, stabbed a bitch is a heavy word. Not a woman. I'm calling the refs. You know what? Let's move past me saying
bitch
that
in this
phrase.
Context is to define anybody is a bitch. It's not one specific gender. It's
I
anybody.
was so upset with the ref. They called. Listen, Sumner was stupid enough to jump out on a 3-point shot. I think it was Halliburton.
Yeah, he had a
shot.
lot of those though.
But you hear, who was it, Ryan Rucco? You hear the commentators that game saying Halliburton stepped forward, Sumner stepped back. So what could have been just 3 shots or even a no call, they call a flagrant one on Sumner. And at that point, you even heard the Nets announcer say, we think that's the turning point of the game. We were down 6 or 8 at that point. It's probably over. Cam Frank Thomas, Cam Isaiah Thomas put this Nets team on his back. 21 points in the fourth quarter. He could not miss. He was hitting threes. I think he went 3 for 3 from 3. He has these floaters that he does around the hoop. He gets his own rebound on a missed free throw and hits the jump shot right away like it was nothing, unfazed. Patty Mills hits a big 3. But I want to say Cam Thomas put the team on his back and deserved the game ball MVP in a game we were sacrificing. In a game we were like, you know what? We've jumped to 4th in the East. The Nets are currently 4th in the East at this point. Let's rest our starters. They've been working their ass off, right? 8-2 in the past 10 games as of today. So let's just take a loss probably against these Pacers. We're playing our legit last 8 guys on the roster.
And you got to factor in that Kevin Durant, Royce O'Neal, Kyrie Irving have been playing ridiculous minutes. This was the second half of a back-to-back. You played Atlanta the night before. Ben Simmons, Joe Harris, Seth Curry, all coming off serious offseason injuries. Yuta Watanabe has been banged up, and he actually played in this game because he didn't play the night before. So you got to keep in mind that with all these things happening, Jacques Vaughn had to do this. Like, he had to take a game. And there were a lot of people who were pissed off. Look, if you're an Indiana Pacers fan and you go to a game to see Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, you got screwed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Keep going. You were on a roll there.
Yeah, you ruined my roll. No, I hear what you're saying. I was rambling. It was a really fun game to watch. And you know what? That might have been more rewarding of a win than anything else to me this season, than even watching all the unbelievable basketball this team's been playing, because that was just a showcase of guys who wanted it more. That's guys who never get to see the light of day, guys who rarely, David Duke, guys like who got a lot of time last year, who was a rookie, who's now a sophomore.
Day'Ron Sharp.
No.
Kessler Edwards.
You got the guys like Kessler Edwards, even Patty Mills, whose minutes keep getting diminished now that Sumner's coming out. Cam Thomas, who's always been a bit of a defensive liability and not really a playmaker, but always had X factor as a scorer. All these guys said, shit, this is our time to prove that we deserve to be on this team. And you just saw no egos, but just some hardcore motherfucking basketball. And that was fun to watch. And that Pacers team was flustered. Rick Carlisle was flustered. And all these little things had to fall in place in order to win this game, and they did. And seeing Patty Mills, my boy, hit that huge 3 to kind of seal the deal with a minute or 2 left, just an unbelievably big, fun, important, rewarding win for these Nets guys.
Yeah, there were about 3 to 4 reasons why this win was huge. Number one, Kevin Durant absolutely fucking loved watching this. And you know, I shout out to Eric Slater, who's on Nets Twitter. He covers the Nets. He pulled 2 videos. One video was from earlier in the season when they asked Kevin Durant why he requested the trade in the offseason. And he basically said, you know, last season when I was out, we went on a 10-game losing streak. And everyone's like, oh, well, when Kevin Durant comes back, we're going to be fine. And he goes, I hated that mentality. I hated that mindset that everybody was depending on me to play winning basketball. He goes, I understand I'm important. I understand I can change the game in regards to my talent, but I needed them to take control of that opportunity to say, okay, Kevin's out, let's all step up. And they didn't. And he hated that mindset. Fast forward to now, they showed him, I don't know if it was after the Pacers game or the Wizards game last night, but he basically said, I loved how our guys competed. They went into that game thinking they were going to win that game. Jacques Vaughn had those guys prepared. And that for your superstar to see is amazing. He literally said, I like the brand of basketball we're playing right now. It doesn't matter who's out there. It doesn't matter what the system is. We're playing the right brand of basketball. I always said this team is nothing unless Kevin Durant is bought in. And right now he's freaking bought in. So that's reason number one why this was great. Reason number two why this was great. This was a showcase of the bottom half of our roster. And Nick, you know what's coming in a few months? The trade deadline. There are guys in this game Markieff Morris had 15 points, 11 rebounds. Not saying we need to trade him, but him, Patty Mills with 24, Day'Ron Sharpe with 20 points, 12 rebounds, Edmund Sumner with 21 points, 7 rebounds, Cam Thomas, 33 points. You brought him up. These are guys. David Duke Jr. had 7 points. Edwards had 6 points, 9 rebounds. These are guys that maybe the Nets can throw into a trade if they need another piece, right? I love Patty Mills. He's been with the team forever. Maybe there is a team that's rebuilding that will take on a vet like Patty to help with the young players, and they can give us a piece that we really need. Maybe we can trade Day'Ron Sharpe and a draft pick, and we can go acquire a real backup center. I love Day'Ron Sharpe. 20 points and 12 rebounds is not indicative of the type of player he is right now. It just isn't. He was given the opportunity. He played great. That's awesome. But he ain't a 20 and 12 guy. So that's reason number two why this one was awesome. It just, it showcased the rest of our talent. And the third reason why this win was great is it just shows how special of a job Jacques Vaughn is doing with this team. I don't know if Steve Nash has these guys competing the same way. I don't know if Steve Nash gives Cam Thomas the keys to the offense and says, hey, go do your thing. Cam Thomas is special in the sense that if you're going to run an offense around him, these are the numbers he can put up. He has yet to show he can do it consistently in a sixth or seventh man role in limited action, 10 to 15 minutes a game. He hasn't proven that he can be an efficient player given those limited minutes because the best part of his game is volume scoring. And if he's not doing that, he's not a great defender. He's not a great rebounder. He's not a great distributor. So this was the perfect game for Jacques Vaughn to be like, hey, none of the guys playing right now are creators. You go out, do your thing, play your game. He was phenomenal tonight. He's a first-round pick from last year, right? Like, this is a guy that some teams are looking at and they're saying, maybe we can use him. So 3 reasons why it was great. Kevin Durant, just showing the rest of the league what we have on our roster.
Reason, just a little bit's enough. Just a second, we're not broken, just bent, and we can learn to love again.
One other thing. What do you think Benedict Matherin's favorite dish for breakfast is?
What is it?
It's Eggs Benedict.
Fuck. You said
the hollandaise sauce?
I thought you said cereal.
I said breakfast dish.
Okay, that's a good one.
All right. So that's it. Nets are the hottest team in the league, and I'll tell you this before we get to your height game.
Wait, go. I have one other thing besides the height game, but go ahead.
Is it related to that Pacers game?
No, it's Patty Mills reviewing a pizza place.
Oh, I do want to hear that, but real fast. So Friday we have the Raptors. Sunday we have the Pistons. I think, and Kevin Durant's referenced the last few games as quote unquote trap games. I think one of those games is a trap game. I think we either lose to the Raptors or the Pistons. That's just me. The way the NBA works is you can't just play winning basketball the entire season. So I'm not worried about those 2 games. I think we split. We should go 2-0. But Wednesday we have Golden State and Friday we have Milwaukee. So the 21st Golden State, the 23rd Milwaukee, both on NBA TV. Nick, I'm not buying that the Nets are championship contenders unless we can take one of those 2 games. Do you agree with me?
That's a bold statement, man, because we still have a long way to go in terms of development and rotation.
I just mean right now. You said we're 8-2 in our last 10, but who's our best win? Is it Indiana? Like, who is the best team we've beat? I don't know if the Clippers were in that span. I don't know who the best team we've beaten is in the last 10 games.
Only listen, we beat the Pistons. We'll beat the. That's a tough stretch. I think we lose to the Warriors because I'm terrified of the Warriors against our defense. But I think we beat the Bucks and we could beat the Cavs. So to me, I'm okay with a loss against the Warriors. Not a team we're used to playing. Not a offensive juggernaut combo in the league that are like Clay and Steph, and our guard defense is a little slim right now. So yes, it's important for a contender that we beat the Bucks and the Cavs, especially the Bucks to me, because that's always a real nail biter of a game. But I'm with you there.
I don't know how we beat the Warriors. I'm with you on that. I agree that we have the capability to beat the Bucks. I would like to beat the Warriors. I just think they're starting to play their brand of basketball. They beat the Celtics the other night. And
I know, they look good.
When the Warriors are going and they've figured out a way to incorporate Jonathan Kuminga into what they do on offense, they're the defending champions. They're a scary fucking basketball team.
Agreed. All right.
It's your Patty Mills pizza review in Brooklyn.
You know what? We'll do the height thing another time. We'll do the end with the Patty Mills. I'll save my.
I want to do the height thing. We got to do the height thing with like 3 guys.
Fine. All right. Patty Mills went to a place called Rosa's Pizza. I live in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, New York. And there are some pizza places in this area that are known as some of the best in New York City. L'Industrie, constantly ranked in Williamsburg. Best pizza. Ace's Detroit style pizza. Moe's Provisional, another more square Sicilian Detroit style pizza. Then you have other places in Brooklyn like Park Slope. You got Luigi's, unbelievable pizza as well.
Lucali
more New York style pizza there. So Patty Mills went to the place we call the only pizza place open at 3 a.m. if you're hammered. That is the only time we go to this place called Rosa's Pizza. I have no issue with Rosa's Pizza. The guys there can be kind of douches, whatever. It's late night, drunk, gets the job done pizza. Patty Mills there's a reel of Patty Mills going into Rosa's Pizza because they have a Vegemite pizza. So for those of you who don't know, Vegemite is an Australian food spread made from beer yeast extract. It's a dark brown, like liquidy, syrupy type thing. It looks disgusting. People think it's disgusting unless they're from Australia. They're making the dough. They put the tomato sauce. They put the Vegemite. He puts the cheese. Patty Mills takes a bite out of it, says, wow, has like this face of like, holy shit, that's pretty good. I'm not going to try it. Maybe I'll try this Vegemite pizza at some point. Patty Mills, you're on the Brooklyn Nets. I love you. You do a lot for this team as a veteran, a hype man. You're a solid 3-point shooter. Not super clutch at times, but had a great game against the Pacers, 24 points. You stepped up. You deserve so much better than Rosa's Pizza. The people of Brooklyn, Nets fans, deserve to see you enjoy so much more than Rosa's Pizza. So this is a little disappointing to me, Spen. I sent it to all my friends. Yeah, okay, Patty Mills, this is the pizza spot he chooses. Then again, I don't know who else has a Vegemite pizza, but Rosa's bottom tier Williamsburg pizza. Y'all heard it here first.
Real quick, before I forget this, I think that Patty Mills should be getting Cam Thomas's minutes in games that are competitive. When Cam Thomas plays 10 to 15 minutes, I think those are 10 to 15 minutes that should go to Patty Mills. That's my basketball perspective on Patty Mills. As far as this pizza thing goes, I've had Rosa's circled on my to try list for years. You've never mentioned a word to me about it. They have 6 locations, Nick. Williamsburg, Maspeth, Ridgewood, Middle Village, Great Neck, Huntington. They must do pretty darn good business to have 6 locations. And
it isn't even the best chain pizza place in Williamsburg. The best chain is Joe's.
Pizza place. What are you talking? It's not a chain. It's
okay,
just a franchise.
I mean multiple franchise.
Right.
Joe's is better than Rosa's.
Okay, they have 12.2 thousand followers on Instagram. So clearly they're building their social media following right. So I'm looking at their Instagram. These pizzas look amazing. They have a ravioli vodka pizza. It's half ravioli with vodka sauce and half rigatoni with vodka sauce.
Hey, listen, bro,
That
you're the
looks
pizza
incredible.
wizard. Try it. Come visit me. We'll get a slice of Rosa's. I guarantee you won't be impressed.
I have the reel of Patty Mills trying the pizza. I think you're wrong here. I think that
you've never even had it.
Listen, if Patty likes it, Brooklyn Nets player Balamat stopped by to try our famous Vegemite pizza. He seems to like it. And look, their stuff looks pretty good. These knots look incredible. Oh my God.
I'm done with this. I'm done with this. All right, here's the deal. I'm going to run through every single player on the Nets roster. Okay. This is a rapid fire. You have about 3 seconds per person. There's 15 people on this roster, about 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
You're
14,
wrong
15.
about this place, by the way.
There's 17 people. It's not. Everyone that I'm friends with would agree. Nobody goes there at all. And
Your
it's
friends have taste up
and
their
it's a
ass.
2-minute walk from my apartment. There's 17 people on the Nets roster right now. You get 5 of the heights correctly, and I'll treat you to Rose's Pizza, okay?
I want you to treat me to Rose's Anla Industry.
Sure. Nick Claxton.
6'11".
Yes. Seth Curry.
6'2".
6'1". David Duke.
6'2".
6'4". Kevin Durant.
6'10".
Yes. Kessler Edwards.
6'9".
No, 6'7". Joe Harris.
6'4".
6'6". Kyrie Irving.
6'3".
6'2". Patty Mills.
I looked that up earlier in the show.
Patty Mills.
6 foot.
Yes. Markieff Morris.
6'9".
Yes. Royce O'Neal.
How many do I have?
You have 4.
I need one more.
Royce O'Neal.
Royce O'Neal is 6'6".
Yes. Day'Ron Sharp.
6'9".
Yes. Ben Simmons.
6'10".
Yep. Edmund Summer.
6'1".
6'4". Cam Thomas.
6'3".
Yes. TJ Warren.
6'7".
We said 6'8". You guessed 6'9" and 6'10", and we said 6'8". Utah Watanabe.
6'8".
Yes. Alonde Williams.
6'5".
6'4". You got 9 out of 17. That was really good. When you're off by like 4 inches, but you got what needs to matter. I owe you Rose's Pizza. You can let the people know on one of these podcasts coming up whether or not
Anla Industry. Rose's Anla Industry.
I got you a slice from Lindustry before. You've had Lindustry.
Did you pay for it?
We ran in and got you a slice. I'm pretty sure.
You can't do the bet after you've already bought me the slice.
All right. Good stuff, bro.
All right. Well, you got to do the sign off. You can't just leave.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Fireside Nets with Spen and Nick, brought to you by Empire Sports Media, and I mostly blame myself. Nick, take it away.
Catch you on the fireside